Welcome to another episode of Fight Sports Uncovered. I'm your host, Mark Joubert, and it's so great to have you back for another one of these fantastic episodes where we showcase yet another group of fighters from another gym here in South Africa. And today's no exception. I'm at one of the very few remaining underground gyms that I'm aware of here in South Africa. Yes, in Pretoria, Brothers in Arms is the name, and the man, the head coach, the owner of the gym is sitting right next to me. Cage-wise is his cage name. For his family, he's known as Conrad Seabi. Conrad.
Yes, man.
It's great, man. It's great
awesome.
Seeing you here.
No, it's awesome to be here, sir.
Chatted to you a long time ago on radio.
It's been long, I remember.
Hey?
Years back ago.
And now we, in front of the TV, we're talking ahead of EFC 90 coming up this weekend. But more about that later. Let's talk a little bit about Brothers in Arms. This is something you put together, this gym space, what, 2014, 2015?
I think 2013.
2013.
2013, yes.
And the reason that you put, I mean, this underground gym is phenomenal. You don't see many of these around anymore.
No,
it's always in these beautiful buildings, but this is really, you get that feeling that real fighters, and that's no slight on the other guys, but real fighters are made here. And if I look at where Brothers in Arms has come from, what was the thinking behind the gym, and what is the gym doing for the local community and the young fighters that you have here?
I'd like to say thanks for the opportunity to express my feelings and to showcase the people what BIA is made of. We are blessed to have such a place like this. To be honest, not many fighters. Let me say this. This place, there's no fancy things. There's no fancy machines, no fancy things that you find in many gyms. This it shows you what type of a fighter a person is. If you are really hungry to be a fighter, you will showcase here, you know what I mean? So it's good to be underground. The sneaky part was, even though on lockdown, we never been on lockdown because we're always closing. Nobody can come this side.
So you use the underground to your advantage in the middle of lockdown?
Yes, you know what I mean. We never rested. We were always training here, yes.
And I think that shows, because if I look at COVID and what the pandemic has done for many gyms, it's put a lot of fighters back a long way, especially if we look at the amateur scene. The amateur scene has virtually been erased here in South Africa. But EFC 85, we saw two of your fighters come back, if I recall, Cole Henning and Ziko Magengele. He was on that card as well. Both fought exceptionally well fights, exceptionally good fights on the night. It seemed as though maybe just a little bit of ring rust, but there was nothing to do with gas tank or anything like that seemed to affect any of your fighters. And that's as a result of you guys almost training right the way through it.
The good thing about Brothers in Arms, we don't only train when there's a fight. We are forever training. And then even when there's no fight, that's where the training is more hard. We don't care you get injured or not. You'll heal because there's no fights. We use that time of lockdown. To be honest, it was a mess. A lot of gyms have closed. Those gyms that were paying lots of, they're in the malls, they pay lots of rents, they're closed. It's very sad. Some of the fighters, they've lost control, they've lost motivation, you know, on fighting because of this lockdown thing. But us, luckily for us, we managed to train. There was no way this gym can close because we did manage to make sure this gym is always open. So we were training hard on lockdown. We were not playing games because we knew that, you know, we are not training for now. We are looking at the future. We're always looking at the future. We always have a target. We don't train for the fun of it, you know. We have goals. If you can see Brothers in Arms, lots of fighters, they are hungry people, you know. There are fighters that's what they know. You know, if someone, this is what he knows. If you can take a fight, an example, let me say you can take a fight against Cole. You can say, you know what, Cole, you are not fighting anymore. What is he gonna do? You know, that's what he has. So that's why anytime, any day you can call him to fight, he will fight. That's what Brothers in Arms mentality is. That's what you always train. That's what you always prepare to do.
You say you're not playing games in training.
You're not playing games.
None of your training is about playing games. I mean, fighting is a serious sport.
It's a serious sport, especially MMA. It's not a joke. Your career can end inside there. You know, you can break yourself. Your life can finish. Believe you me, there is not a game. Yes, I feel they say you have to have a sportsmanship, but I can't be good to you while I know tomorrow you might end my life. No, I have to hate you so that inside that cage I give you what you deserve to get. You know what I mean?
I want to talk about that because that is a Conrad Seabi thing. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, virtually every fight I've seen you fight, it's almost as if you have to hate your opponent. You've got to almost really, really dislike the man on the other side of that cage. Otherwise, you can't fight him.
I can't. And before I answer that, I made a big mistake on fighting Darolja. That guy, he was so humble to me. I was also humble to him. I was so good to him. I didn't expect anything bad to happen. I was shocked when he rocked me. I was not aggressive as the way I know I have to be. So I like to be aggressive. I want to hate you. There's no need. Why do I have to love you? To be honest, people pretend too much. Okay. It depends. How was the countdown going? What did you say to me? What happens through the progress of the hyping? What did you say? You know, some other things are personal. You can't remove them from me. So if I hate you, I'll hate you forever. You know, it's not hating you in a sense of I'll come and kill you or do what. You are not my friend. You are fighters. I know in future I might fight you again. It's sports. That's how it is. We don't pretend in front of the camera. Some of the guys, they've got attitude. Their attitude, I don't condone their attitude. If it's like that, it's like that. We're done with that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of fighters. Even now, I don't want to fight fights that I need a title. I want grudge fighters. I have too much grudges on some fighters. I just want to get that out of my way. I don't care about the title anymore.
So it's just to get it out of your system?
Just to get it out of my system.
So let's talk about that part. So you've got a long history of fighting within the EFC. Now you've got a crop of youngsters. I mean, if we look at Cole, he's been out of the game for 4 years. We've got Ziko. We've got a whole bunch of youngsters. You've got 11 professional roster fighters fighting out of Brothers in Arms. I mean, that's a big roster to look after. You're a head coach. You're the owner of the gym. A lot of responsibility.
Yes, it is.
In terms of your experience, how much does that take from you to be able to impart that experience down to these young athletes?
It takes a lot out of me. To be honest, I'm forever here. Even when I'm sick, I just sit here, even without doing nothing, because I know there's a lot of guys that they need my attention, you know what I mean? So, and it's a difficult situation because of, I'm still a fighter, but I have to pause being a fighter and focus on coaching for only one reason. There's a lot of youngsters here, hungry boys, you know what I mean? Boys that all they know, as I said before, it's fighting, you know? And I will say it's most of the Congolese that I have, most humble boys. That's all they need. That's all they know, fighting. So all they needed is someone that can guide them to the right way. And then for them to choose me, it's not like I choose them, they choose me. And then, so if someone chooses you, then it shows how important you are. So why not sacrifice to help those boys, you know what I mean?
You speak about them choosing you as a coach, as a gym owner. Are you looking for a specific kind of fighter for you to groom to the next level? Or are you the kind of coach? Just take anybody. If you come in, or is there a specific attitude you're looking for?
Don't take anybody. When you come first here, it's not all about you need to pay the gym. It's not all about your money. We have to put you through a test. First of all, the respect you have, how serious you are, how hungry you are. Do you want to be a fighter because of you want to be on TV? Because some of the fighters, they just want to be in EFC because of they just want to be famous. And you forget that being famous in a sport like this, you'll kill yourself. You need to love MMA. You need to be a blood sucker, a fighter that is willing to suck the blood inside the cage, you know what I mean? So we put you through a test and see. Yes, I don't chase anyone away because you never know. Some people, they might not have any skill, they might not have any background on fighting, But some guys are fast learners. Some guys are hard workers. Remember, I prefer a hard worker than a talented boy. Because a hard worker, he will put effort on his work. Talented guys, they always think that I know I can fight. I know I can do this. But out of the blue, they give you nothing at the gym. They come whenever there's a fight. But hard worker is always at the gym. So we just put you through a test and see, and then we'll take it from there.
I mean, you talk about that hard work. I mean, Brothers in Arms, I remember watching many of your young fighters putting it on at amateur fights all those years ago. And over the years, you've moved from being a predominantly amateur-based gym to now, as I mentioned earlier, 11 EFC roster fighters that train out of these four walls every day. I mean, that's got to make you proud. I mean, you've brought an almost nobody gym, okay, to the prominence, to the world stage. I mean, as a coach, as a trainer, it's got to make you proud.
I have to give the glory to God. You know, it's not easy to have such a talented hard workers, EFC, 11 fighters in one gym, in a small gym like this, in a so-called, because you know some people when they come, they'll be like, is this a gym? You need to have the fighting in your heart. You need to have the mentality of a fighter. You don't need materials to be a fighter. You know, you are your weapon for yourself. You don't need a gun to protect yourself. By yourself, you need to be able to protect yourself. So this is what Brothers in Arms are all about. So honestly speaking, as a coach, I'm blessed and I'm happy. I'm proud of these guys in this team. We can be champions, all of us. You know, even Annie said he lost his title, Jikaza he lost. It was the first time we went for a title. It was a fact experience. Believe you me, the next one will never make the same mistake that we did.
In terms of those mistakes, let's talk about that. In terms of those mistakes, as a coach, what are the big learnings? I mean, obviously the fighters have got their own learnings because they're the guys that are in the cage. They're the guys actually making most of the mistakes, if we can call it that. But as a coach, as a gym, what are some of the key learnings for you out of both of those losses?
I learned a lot. I've learned a lot from that. Not saying they were useless for losing, or I've learned a lot. Just to point someone like on Aniset's fight, there's a lot that is happening behind the scenes. People, fans, they just always see what is in front of them. There's a lot that is happening behind the scenes. I won't give an excuse, especially on Aniset's loss. You know, Aniset, as we are having a best jiu-jitsu coach in the gym, Aniset wasn't supposed to be there for that time. As a fighter, you need to be mentally ready for anything. But sometimes, as a fighter, when there's something that disturbs you, so you'll just say, you know what, I'll just go, I just want to finish this fight. That's what he was not mentally. I won't say there's some mistakes, big mistakes I have to fix. Just little things, just mindset. Whenever things, the going gets tough, and he said, you need to keep calm. Same thing as Jikaza. Jikaza was super fit. He was super fit. He was super fit. He was even shocked. He was crying. We were crying, both of us, at outside the cage, backstage. You can see first round he was on fire. His first fight, as he said earlier, he was not super fit to fight this first fight in EFC, but he was keep on going. But this one, he was 120% fit. But the second round, he was out. You can tell by knowing the fighter that something is not right with him. So we've learned that no matter what, we don't give up. As you saw here, Mabudu, there was blood. You need to stand up and go. You have to have that mentality. No, as long as the ref says the fight is not finished, keep going. Anything can happen. It's a fighting game. So we are learning every day. It's a learning curve.
Well, there you have it. You've heard it. It's tough for the coaches as well as for the fighters inside the cage. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more in build-up to EFC 90, more from a young fighter that's going to be taking on his third fight in the EFC, and more from his coach.
Here we go! Recent research at his own that made it Dominic, no touch. Oh, Holly Holm.
welcome back to Fight Sports Uncovered. I'm your host, Mark Joubert, and ahead of EFC 90 this coming weekend, we have a young fighter with us out of Brothers in Arms here in Pretoria, and we're actually here, as you know, in their underground gym. Fantastic to see that some of these gyms still exist. And the man that we're going to talk to, Ziko Magengele, he's out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. A young fighter who made his debut back at EFC 85. And for all you fight fans that recognize and understand the importance of EFC 85, it was the first event back after more than 400 days of no fighting action here in South Africa. Now, Ziko made his debut there. He took on a well-rounded amateur fighter in JT Botha. And second round, TKO. Ziko, welcome to the show. For you, going into your very first fight, your debut at EFC 85, the first event out of COVID, how did that feel for you as a debutant?
Na victoire na ngai ndenge ya coach na nga aposte nga ba ni na team na nga bato nazala na bango ranking nazala pena na esengo to na victoire wana salenga kaka bien.
He said that he was so happy to get his first victory. Like, he was happy because our coach was motivating him because, you know, it was his first fight. The motivation of the coach, the motivation of all the teammates, like we are always pushing each other. Like he was so happy about his first fight.
Looking at that second fight, Christian Bobo, seemed to be a lot easier a fight for you, Ziko, in terms of that first round TKO. The nerves of the first fight clearly looked to be out, and you looked very, very comfortable in the cage second time round.
He said that on the second fight, he was so happy because it did take time, he did prepare, he had a good camp for the fight because he was so ready, he was so ready because he knows what is going to bring, because he was so like ready for it because he did prepare, he just took his time, because on the first fight it was like a rushing fight, but on the second one he knows himself, he was confident on himself because he knows I'm going to bring good things because he get good camp like the first fight.
Looking ahead of your fight on Saturday night, you're up against a Brazilian. Not much is known about this Brazilian. I mean, if we look on Tapology, he has one fight, one amateur fight, no professional fights. We know nothing about him. What has been your approach, and you of the team, to this fight?
This is BIA. We can't be afraid of anyone. On BIA, we always be positive, not negativity. We always come there to fight. We always come to kill. We don't play. Actually, himself, he said that he always trying for him to win, not to try to lose. But it can happen, but he doesn't see where he can lose. He's gonna win this fight. It must come the way you come. BIA, we have a plan, we have everything. He's mentally strong, everything strong. He will win the fight. They're gonna raise up his hand after the fight.
And following a successful win, you go 3-0. What's next that you see, and what is the team preparing you for next? I would assume maybe if it's an easy fight, you fight again in December or early next year, 2022.
Yeah, I just said like after this fight, he's gonna win, and then he must have 4 wins. After 4 wins, we're gonna decide. We're gonna decide everything because we need to get a win first, and then from there we take it from there after the 4th fight.
Well, Ziko, I wish you all the best ahead of Saturday night. We'll be watching, seeing if you can actually go 3-0 in your young career. But watching your training session a little bit earlier today, I think whoever comes up against you is in for a world of trouble come Saturday night.
Okay. I said that he can't talk too much. He's gonna put his work. If you talk too much, it's like you're making your jaw to be like, you know, I can't explain it in English proper, but he say he doesn't talk too much. his job is the one who's going to talk. We're going to see it in the cage.
Well, there you have it. From a young, up-and-coming professional athlete, Ziko Magengele, out of the DRC, fighting here out of Brothers in Arms in Pretoria. I look forward to seeing what he's got to show and how he's improved since his very first performance at EFC 85. Hopefully you're going to be watching too. We'll see then. Conrad, looking ahead to EFC 90, you got one of your athletes, Ziko, fighting on the card in his third fight. Two great performances in his first, in his debut and his second fight. He's undefeated, so obviously it feels good as a gym to bring a youngster in. But from your point of view, up against an athlete which we know very little about. You know, his record is 1-0. According to Tapology, it doesn't look like it's a professional win. From a coach's point of view, I know you said earlier that you've got to train for everything, and that's a big learning, for example, coming out of the Elena Lunga fight with Anisette. What are you preparing Ziko for ahead of a guy that we literally know nothing about?
Honestly speaking, I know nothing about that guy. I just saw the pictures on Facebook.
He looks good, eh?
Wearing brown belt, jiu-jitsu belt. I'm like, oh, okay, jiu-jitsu guy. So after that, I didn't even care about him. I don't even care. The main concern of me is to make sure that my body is all-rounder. An example, the first fight of Mabud, he was tense. He was not super fit because he just got that fight in 2 weeks' notice. So we fixed it. We wanted a long camp. We got a long camp. We fixed the mistakes that Mabudi was doing the first fight. So the second fight, he did polish everything that we taught him. So from the second fight, now we have to make sure the first mistakes and second one, we don't do them on the second one. So Mabudu, people doesn't know Mabudu. You will never take him down. Believe you me. We can put money on it. That guy is a black belt judo guy. Congo, they are roaring about that guy. He's a machine. He's a monster. So we don't care too much about our opponents. We just care about us. We need to be stand up 100%, grappling, wrestling, judo. We need to be super fit to go inside the cage. The rest is history. Because I can't say I'm worried about that guy, what is he going to do? Inside there, it's unpredictable. Anything can happen. So I need to be prepared on anywhere the game goes. So we don't care about him, honestly speaking. We just care about our preparation. Once I'm happy that my body is 100% fit, then that guy is just water under the bridge. We are looking past it. And I'm sure about what I'm saying.
Well, I wish you all the best ahead of this weekend. Hoping that it's going to be great for you from the perspective that he goes 3-0. But then we also know it's a fight.
He will definitely.
Anything can happen in that cage. But there's a question I've been meaning to ask you for a while. EFC, not too many shows ago, you and that was the Anisette Kanyeba fight with Elena Lunga.
Yes.
What happened backstage where you found yourself waking up with doctors all around you?
Yes, yeah, that was a moment I will never ever forget. I will start with this. Me and Ricky, we had a good relationship. I never had a beef with him at all. For a meantime, for some few fights, he was sponsoring me, some of the fighters as well. So what happened then, after the fight, they went to the medics. As a coach, you just have to go there and check your fighter. So the first person that get out inside that medics, it was Rick. So, without thinking about anything, I went to Rick. I said, Ricky, man, bruh, good fight, man. Unlucky for the loss. I never even finished those weights. He just turned, he knee me. He knee me 2 punches. When I wake up, I was inside the bed of the paramedics. So on a spot, while I'm inside the bed, the machine were on me. While I look at the TV, Anisette was going inside. He was already inside. Yeah, I got freaked out. I was so pissed. I tear everything apart. I'm like, I'm going. They denied, but at the end of the day, the doctors went with him. I was not myself. I couldn't even see what I was doing. So that's what happened. So that's what I said to him. And then what he said, he wasn't all right. he was concussed. He didn't see proper. So, you know, it's one of those things, man, you know. So.
And the relationship's still good?
Nah, it's
tender.
I'm trying to just to accept it. He apologized, to be honest, and then he also, he did apologize. He tried all his best. MMA SA contacted me, they spoke. So, yes, I know mistakes happens, to be honest. Mistakes happens. I've made a huge mistakes in EFC. I've made lots of drama in EFC, so I've made a mistake in my life as well. So I just make peace with it. I don't have a beef with him, you know what I mean? So only time will tell.
Final question to you.
Yes.
Are we going to see Cage-Wise back in the cage?
Yes, December.
December, confirmed?
December, yes, confirmed, yes.
Any idea who?
It's either
Are you allowed to say?
No, yes, I'm allowed. I'm allowed. Actually, I want this message to reach these two people. Please make sure this message reach them. People, they always say they want to fight fights when they want the fights they want. When me, I want the fight I want, I don't get them. 2015, I fought Max Martin. I was supposed to fight Sean Dillon. He denied. Dino Begedin, he denied. Max Martin stepped in and fight me. So Dino, even he went for retirement, owing me a fight. So, but for now, they said it's either Dallas Jacoby, or I heard Graham told me that this boy from CIT that lost against...
JT Bota?
Yeah, they said he wants me. I'm like, that's his funeral. I don't have a problem. If he thinks he can... Because I know CIT, they have a beef against us. Mornay doesn't want to lose against me. He lost against me. I think maybe it's 2 fights. 2 fights or 1. So, yeah, I think it's 2. Yeah, I think it's 2. So there's a beef. We just want to get this revenge back. And it's something that he will never get. So we'll just see. Me, I'm ready to fight December. Out of these 3, I'll see which one he confirmed with Graham.
Well, Conrad, thank you so much for your time here at your home, away from home, in the underground gym. We absolutely loved being here today. I look forward to seeing you back in the cage, and obviously look forward to seeing the performance from Ziko Magengele later on this week, i.e. tomorrow. So all the best.
Thanks, Art. You will be 3-0 next week.
And for everyone out there, thanks so much for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the show. So much to look forward to. EFC 90 coming up this weekend. Until then, until next time, protect yourselves at all times. We're out.